Why, hello again. It's nice to see you. I'm wondering if this has ever happened to you, because it just happened to me, maybe a few months ago. You work in a particular field or you have a particular hobby. Let's say you're a school teacher, and there's some big curriculum that you never knew about, or it just floated under your radar all this time. Or maybe you're a mechanic and it's a certain model of car, or a politician and there's a news story, right? Something like this. And you're shocked, you're kind of late to the game and you feel a little disoriented because of it and you're scrambling to catch up. It's exactly how I feel about this poet, Seamus Heaney. He's a wonderful poet. I did not know anything about him, but I learned about him through some other poets that I am acquainted with, and they referenced his works, and so I figured, gosh, they're speaking such high praise. I've got to pick up a copy of something of his. And then when the copy came, it's got right there on the front, winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. So there you go. I don't know how I didn't know about him, but I'm scrambling to catch up. He's kind of groundbreaking. He writes in this new style, somewhat political, but then also deeply personal. He puts a new, fresh spin on poetry, I guess you could say, and a relatively modern poet. I mean, he died in like 2013, so very, very modern, actually. Yeah, as you can see, this title is Seeing Things, and by him, and I think that's a good title because the more I read it, the more I'm like, oh, okay, I would have never looked at this situation or this scene in that same way. And I don't think I'm doing it any justice. I think I just have to read you the poem that I have before me. It's called the Lustral Sonnet, and like it says, it's a sonnet, so it's a pretty short piece. I'll just read it in full, and then we'll kind of go through what I think he's saying based off of my research and my own intuition here. Breaking and entering, from early on, words that thrilled me far more than they scared me, and still did when I came into my own masquerade as a man of property. Even then, my first impulse was never to double bar a door or lock a gate, and fitted blinds and curtains drawn over seemed far too protective and uptight. But I scared myself when I re-entered here, my own first breaker in, with an instruction to saw up the old bed frame, since the stair was much too narrow for it. A bad action, so Greek with consequence, so dangerous, only pure words and deeds secure the house. It's interesting because this is written about his cottage, and, well, at least on face value it is. It's written about his cottage, and he's returning to it. But he says in the first lines, breaking and entering from early on, words that thrilled me far more than they scared me. So he has this thrill in him about breaking and entering. And there's sort of a metaphor going on here. This is really talking also about his poetic career, you know. He had this joy early on in breaking into these big vaults, you might imagine, of words, these big warehouses of language, and then playing with all the pieces and just plundering it, you know, for his own and making it his own. So that's when he became a man of property. When I came into my own masquerade as a man of property, still feeling somewhat out of place. Even then, my first impulse was never to double bar a door or lock a gate, and fitted blinds and curtains drawn over seemed far too tight. So he was indulging in this, like, oh, just open everything, open every door to me. Let's get rid of all the laws prohibiting such things. I want to leave no stone unturned. And this was his early career. But then he scared himself when he re-entered here. This is him coming back to his cottage after a period of refreshment, or as it says, a lustral period. This is his lustral sonnet. So a period of cleansing. It's a Roman word, an ancient Roman word. So he's coming back into his house, and he finds himself his own breaker in. So now he's coming back in to his own words, to his own works, and his cottage where he would write, presumably. He's breaking in, and there's an instruction for him to saw up the old bed frame. You might imagine this as some relic of his house, maybe some rule of his own poetry that he abided by for these long years. Because the stair was much too narrow for it, so there's this practical reason for sawing it up, but still he regards it a bad action. And I love this. So Greek with consequence, like the Greek tragedies. It's like so tragic, so Greek with consequence, so dangerous that only pure words and deeds secure the house. So he's saying here that even though he's plundered the whole world, now he's come back to his sanctuary, and he finds this delicate balance between breaking in to his own storehouse of words and works, you might say, and he's realizing that only the pure words and deeds secure his house. And he's so hesitant to be that breaker in, to be that person that comes in with a sledgehammer or a pickaxe and starts messing around with things. It's just an interesting play on words, an interesting perspective. He's seeing things differently, right? I thought I would share that with you, and I may share more from this. It's just so different from everything else that I've read recently that it puts a fresh spin on this channel. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you next time.